In last week's Q&A, I announced my big summer hike that I'm going to be traveling to Europe to do with my German friends, the Tour Du Mont Blanc. I had a lot of questions about things like what direction I'm going. Am I going to do a meetup while I'm over there? And what days do I expect to be on the trail? I'm going to answer all of those and a few others today, so stick around. Welcome back, hikers, to another week's Q&A here on the channel. I'm a little behind this week. Usually we try to get these things published on Thursdays, but things have been a little bit crazy lately. Me and Miss Bigfoot just got done buying a house. We're actually closing in the next couple weeks, so it's been really crazy with us just trying to do all the things that come with buying a house. But anyway, we're going to get right in the Q&A. If you're not familiar with our structure, each and every week we are doing a Q&A to answer your questions. Anything about the outdoors and hiking, backpacking, camping, whatever it might be. Take your question, throw it below in the comments section of this video. I'll pool all the questions together and try to answer as many questions as I can in next week's Q&A. Now, a relatively new tradition that we do in the Q&A is sample a new beer. Well, I didn't really get a chance to get out and buy one of the beers that you put down in the comments, so we're going to go back with one of my favorite beers. Many of you will say this is not a beer. I like cider beers, and I'm going with my Angry Orchard here. Now, if you'd like to see a beer highlighted in next week's Q&A, throw them in the comments below, and if I can find it, I'll try to bring it on. Cheers. Just before we get kicked off with the Q&A, something I've been doing the last few weeks, I've actually posted each and every question and the time of when I'm going to be answering that question below in the show notes. So if you want to skip ahead to a certain question, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to be answering all the questions about the TMB in the last half of this week's Q&A. And at the very end, like I always do, I will do some updates on the channel. A lot of things are going to be specific to trail days. Trail days is just around the corner, so make sure you stay at the end to hear about some news with trail days. Hey Bigfoot, I can't be the only one wondering this, but what is your shoe size? My real shoe size is 10.5. Do you know what the record low is for the JMT in September? What was the lowest temperature that you saw when you hiked the JMT? The record low for the JMT in September? I really don't know, but I'll do what I always do when I have a question. Ask Siri. Do you know...
Hello.
Hello. What is the record low for the John Muir Trail in September?
Okay, I found this on the web for what is the record low for the John Muir Trail in September.
She didn't pronounce Muir right. Well, I can't really seem to find the record low, but what seems to be about the average low is 43.6. That was last year. The high is somewhere around 67. For me, the lowest temperature that I felt when I was on the John Muir Trail, it was at Lake Virginia, and I think it was about 20 to 22 degrees. Now that was right around the middle of September, and I got off the trail and summited Mount Whitney on the 22nd of September. Now going up Whitney, some of the wind gusts felt like it was sub-zero. So even though I think it was actually colder when I was at Lake Virginia that night, but it definitely felt colder going up Whitney. But what kind of temperatures should you prepare for? I prepare for temperatures below 20. Anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees will probably be the coldest that you may see out there in the JMT. Have you ever thought of getting a dehydrator and vacuum sealer to make your own trail meals ahead of time? As a matter of fact, I actually have. We actually have been waiting until we close in on our house, get settled in, before we go out and start buying things like that. But it's something that I've been thinking about and we've been talking about. We actually been looking at dehydrators. If there's something that any of you recommend, place them below in the comments because we're probably going to be on the market for one somewhere towards the end of the year and would like to start experimenting. So that clank that you heard was the orchard falling on the laptop. Not good. Son of a bitch, got on the mouse too. Alright, we're back. Laptop seems to be working. I plan on attending trail days next year and I would like to section hike from there. What do you suggest? Also, what is the best way to get from Marion to Damascus? Well, section hike from Damascus, I definitely would head north and go through the Grayson Highlands, see the ponies, and you could hike all the way back to Marion. It's probably somewhere around 60 to 70 miles. Now, the best way to get from Marion to Damascus, hell, I don't know. So let's ask Siri again. Directions from Marion, Virginia to Damascus, Virginia.
Getting directions from Marion to Damascus.
Well, it's looks like it's only 33 minutes. You're taking, looks like 11 all the way down to 91. 91 will take you all the way into Damascus. So there you go. This will be my first trip to trail days. Hope to meet you while I'm there. My question is, have you ever hiked Linville Gorge? I have not. And as a matter of fact, I really never have looked it up until you just mentioned it below in the comments. So I checked it out, looked at some pictures, and it looks pretty sweet. That will be something that I'll have to make a side trip to sometime. Now, in terms of trail days this year, stay tuned to the end. I'm going to announce a meetup that we're going to do at Trail Days on Friday evening. And now for the TMB questions of the Q&A. Great to hear that you're doing the TMB. Can you please consider capturing all of it, especially your travel tips, check-in luggage, just like you did on the JMT trip? I really learned a lot. Can't wait to follow your trip on the TMB. Cheers. I'm going to probably have more coverage on the TMB than in any of my other videos so far. Number one, I'm going to have more time to be able to do this thing. I'm only going to have to hike 12, 13 miles a day. Number two, I'm going to be with 3 other German guys, so it's going to be a little bit easier to be able to get some footage, get some video, and I have 3 tour guides while I'm on my trip out there, so that in itself is going to make it a lot more easier than me trying to have to figure out everything. So I'm totally going to capture everything. Bigfoot, so happy for you getting to hike the Tour Du Mont Blanc. Did you reach out to Spielberg for all of his advice as he hiked it last year? I think that's one trail I would love to do someday. I have not, but the reason why I haven't reached out to Spielberg is because he emailed me or mentioned in a comment a couple months ago that he was going to be at Trail Days, and I think he's going to Trail Days for a little bit longer than he did last year. So I figured I would just be catching up with him and pick apart his brain. So I'll totally be doing that. Spielberg, if you're watching, get ready for the questions. Which weeks of June do you plan to do the TMB? I question because we have record snow levels here in the Alps. I might even have to postpone a bit of the start of my Great Alps Crossing Trail that joins the TMB for a few miles. They aren't really the highest passes in the journey, but still. So the question is, number one, to inform. Number two, should it be the end of June? We may cross each other for a drink up there. Take care. Yeah, I did hear that there was quite a lot of snowfall up there. I didn't realize there was actually that much. So the plan is for us to get on the trail sometime the weekend of the 16th, 17th of June. It's probably going to be the 17th because I fly into Frankfurt on June 15th. And then we'll be on the trail from the 17th of June somewhere probably till about the 24th or so of June, about that 8-day stretch. If our paths happen to cross, this is definitely happening. Hi Bigfoot, I'm doing the TMB late June. How many days are you planning on completing it? And what direction are you hiking? As I just mentioned, we're going to be on the trail for somewhere between 8 to 9 days between the 17th and the 24th, 25th of June. I actually had to consult my German friends because they're the ones that have actually been doing a lot of the planning and everything, which has actually been kind of nice. So this is the message that they sent back. We're going to start in Martigny, Switzerland, and then we'll follow the route to Trient, France, and so on. After we leave France, we'll come to Italy, and then our car will be marked in Martigny, and then we'll go from Italy back up to Martigny to make the full, complete 110-mile loop. And then we got a couple of comments about wanting to do a meetup in Germany. Hell yeah, we're going to do a meetup in Germany. I would love to. Would love to hear from all of you out there that live in Germany and would want to meet up with me, Pacemaker, White Walker, and I'm not sure if their friend will be with us for that part of the journey or not, but at least the 3 of us, let me know where you're at. It's going to be sometime the last week of June, so between the 26th of June and probably the 30th. And that looks to be the last questions of the week. Beer is shot because I spilled most of it on my laptop. Let's talk about trail days. Me and Miss Bigfoot are going to fly into Charlotte, and we are driving in trail days on Friday morning, the 18th. I'm going to try to get to downtown Damascus sometime by like 9 o'clock in the morning and start with my trail days coverage. So I'm going to do walkthroughs of as many of the vendor booths as I can, just like I did last year. Got a lot of positive feedback from all of you that didn't get the opportunity to be able to attend trail days to see and live a little bit of trail days through the channel. I had a lot of you that asked and requested for us to be able to do some sort of meetup while I'm in trail days. So what I decided to be the easiest with everything that's going on is 7 p.m. we are going to meet in front of the gazebo, the town park gazebo is what it's called, which is where they're going to be having live music, all those kind of things. There's going to be a bunch of concessions and things like that. We'll meet at the very back of that area right there, not the front because it's probably going to be a little crowded and loud, but the back. And then we'll kind of go from there. If we can't really hear each other because of music going, then there's a nice little spot along the river that you can go right behind there, and maybe we'll just kind of go over there to just chat and hang out for an hour or two. So 7 p.m. Town Park Gazebo. Be there if you'd like to have opportunity to be able to hang out for a couple hours. If you can't make the meetup because you're not there on Friday, not a big deal because I'm going to be around the entire weekend. We're not leaving until about 2 p.m. on Sunday. We're catching our flight out of Charlotte sometime that evening. And it's kind of nice this year because last year we drove all the way to Damascus and had to leave early to drive all the way back. We don't have to worry about that this year. So it's going to be a lot more relaxing for me and Miss Bigfoot. And we'll be able to spend more time with all of you. Now in a couple days, you're going to see some news hit the channel about a new t-shirt campaign that I'm going to be doing that's going to be supporting ALDA, the Appalachian Long Distance Hikers Association. ALDA will be at Trail Days. We'll be stopping by their booth, talking with Ron like we did last year. They are going to be donating all the money from this t-shirt campaign to support the national trails. Right now, the national trails, only about half of the trails are completed, and that's what this money is going to be going towards. Now, I've been working with ALDA and Bonfire these last couple weeks to create this t-shirt design. I will give you a little sneak peek right here of what it's going to look like. We got a couple more things that we need to tweak on it, but this is going to be very close to what the final t-shirt design is going to look like. If you got an opportunity, again, all the money that we're making on this is going to a great cause, the national trails, and help us finish these trails so that we can continue to enjoy them. So more on that a little later. And of course, Trail Days. If you have any questions about Trail Days, we're probably going to do our Q&A on Thursday around Trail Days. I know there's a lot of questions out there because I get comments and emails all the time about Trail Days. Go ahead and throw it below in the comments. Or if there's something that you'd like to see me do during Trail Days, like some sort of coverage or something like that, make sure you throw that below as well. And of course, we'll also answer any other questions that you have. Stay tuned for that and much more sightings here from Bigfoot. Happy trails. I'll see you next time.